Every year, families across the United States gather to celebrate Thanksgiving. We picture pilgrims and Native Americans sharing a bountiful feast in harmony. Children dress up as pilgrims and turkeys. We tell stories of friendship and cooperation, but how much of this familiar story is true? The Thanksgiving story, as we often tell it, is a simplified version of events. It's important to remember that history is complex. The real story of the first Thanksgiving is far more nuanced than the one we often hear. Understanding the true history can help us appreciate the holiday on a deeper level. It also allows us to acknowledge the experiences of Native Americans, both past and present. The Pilgrims who landed at Plymouth Rock were not the first Europeans in North America. They were arriving in a land already inhabited by diverse Native American tribes. These tribes had their own cultures, languages, and ways of life. They had been living in North America for centuries before European arrival. The Pilgrims were fleeing religious persecution in England. They were seeking a new life in a new land. Their journey across the Atlantic was perilous, and many perished along the way. Upon arriving in what is now Massachusetts, they faced a harsh winter and struggled to survive. The traditional Thanksgiving story often depicts the Pilgrims as skilled farmers who taught the Native Americans how to cultivate the land. In reality, the Pilgrims relied heavily on the knowledge and generosity of the Wampanoag tribe. The Wampanoag had been cultivating these lands for generations. They taught the Pilgrims how to plant crops, fish, and hunt in the unfamiliar environment. Without the Wampanoag's assistance, it's unlikely the Pilgrims would have survived their first year in Plymouth. The first Thanksgiving was not a sign of lasting peace and harmony, as it is often portrayed. The relationship between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag was complex and at times fraught with tension. The Thanksgiving story often overshadows the difficult history that followed the supposed first feast. European colonization led to displacement, disease, and conflict for Native Americans. It's crucial to acknowledge this darker side of the story. Understanding the true history of Thanksgiving allows us to engage with the holiday in a more meaningful way. It's an opportunity to learn about the Wampanoag people and their culture. It's also a time to reflect on the impact of colonization on Native Americans. As we gather with loved ones, let's remember the real story of Thanksgiving, with all its complexities and contradictions.